I would say get your popcorn, but it's probably not going to be that interesting of a video. Just a little something that may come off as a little ranty on my part. Mainly it's going to be something anti-eBay and how they do their feedback policies. Again, this is my experience. Yours may be totally different, and this is on the buyer side. So if you're strictly on the seller side, you'll probably not like what you're about to hear, and you'll probably want to slap that thumbs down real quick and leave some hate comments, which is fine too. We got to keep the dialogue going. So what I noticed was back in 2021, I was purchasing a lot of raw cards, usually lots. I was purchasing from various individuals, some of which you've probably purchased from before. A couple examples of some ones off the top of my head. I'll flash the guy's information on the screen. What I found out he would do, because I saw him later in a break I was participating in, is he would buy, and this was after what had happened. He would buy into breaks, and then he would sell off the cards that were damaged without indicating in the listing that they were. So again, I'll put his information there. You can decide whether you want to do business with him. Maybe he doesn't do business like this anymore. There's another guy in Ohio that claims to be a football fan. He's another individual who used to be good selling lots, and then in 2021 started selling garbage. Another guy I've talked about before who grades, claims to be elite. This individual, I bought some raw card lots from him, and when the cards came, they were all damaged. So I wrote him, I was like, what's going on here? Basically, what you'll get from all of these sellers is they won't indicate it in the listing about the condition of the card. You have these large consignment shops like Probstein and several others where it's the same thing. The excuse is always, oh, well, we get millions of cards in all the time. Oh, we're so busy. We got so much going on that we don't have time to look at our cards. Well, that's the thing. Is if you're doing business, and I guess it's just me from just being a smaller individual who doesn't do that kind of volume, you come out and basically, how does the line go? Tell me you don't give a shit about customer service without telling me you don't give a shit about customer service. My feeling when it comes to this stuff is always that you have to be as accurate as possible with your descriptions. This is on the buyer side, as I said. So sellers, if you're out there doing this kind of stuff, you're definitely not going to want to hear what I have to say. But when you're an individual selling lots, and you just throw it up there, and there's no indication of print lines, corner damage, scratches on the card surfaces, how is the buyer supposed to feel when they receive those damaged cards in the mail? So what would happen in 2021 in these situations was I would initiate returns. Of course, you have some who have egos and blame me for getting damaged cards. And in my situation, when I would submit returns, I would always submit photos to eBay. If you've ever done a return, you know you can attach photos to that return to demonstrate to eBay that you're not full of shit. Now, on the seller side, certainly individuals like Neo talk a lot about this. The assumption is he deals more on the seller side. There are certainly individuals out there pulling a lot of shenanigans, bait and switch going on, people claiming they didn't get something when they did. Remember back in 2021 when they used to have a 30-day return policy? That created a situation where the buyer could see what the market was doing. Basically, they could hold your cards for 30 days. They could hold my cards, I sell as well. They could hold my cards for 30 days, see what the market was doing, and then decide, oh, item not as described in terms of a return. Now, in my case, with stuff I sell, I've never had anybody try to initiate a return yet. But that's because I describe items accurately. If I'm selling lots and I haven't looked through the lots, which does happen, getting back to individuals who do or don't have the time, if it's something where you didn't fully inspect every card, then you have to indicate that as such in your listing. If you're selling individual cards, do your diligence. Take a bunch of photos from different angles. Shine the light there. You got these bright lights here. They're a great tool. Use them. Great tool. Use it. You have to be accurate in your descriptions. And when you aren't, and you try to deceive people, then you have to expect returns to come your way. So when I was returning a lot of items, it kind of made me crack up because I'm sitting here and I'm like, at least half of the stuff I'm getting, again, this is late 2020, we'll throw that in there as well, all throughout 2021, at least half of the stuff I'm getting is garbage, it's just trash. Now the feeling is just the market was so hyped up during that time that people were just throwing everything out there, trying to sell everything, and they just didn't give a fuck. Wild, wild west, baby. But I had returned so much stuff to where eBay started to harass me about it. With that situation where eBay started to harass me about it, I contacted their customer service several times. And I said, hey, every time I do this. I'm submitting photos. Why is it that I'm getting bitched out, basically? How is it that sellers have the ability to act like I'm the bad guy when I'm submitting photos every time? Of course, they never replied. They never rectified it. So it seemed like a hands-off situation where they just wanted to push away from it and just do as little as possible to create a situation where the money continued to flow. And we're just talking about the customer service individuals themselves. They probably have limited power, limited training to do anything. A lot of times you're probably dealing with overseas individuals who just don't give a fuck. They're just there to get paid. So hey, if that's you and you ever come across this video, I feel you. Get your paycheck. I don't like when I feel like there's a situation where the buyer can be swindled in a way. In my opinion, eBay's creating fraud. They're creating a situation where we're not getting accurate feedback, and then they're out here just using excuses.